Okay. Recording in progress, because I had a couple people that were not feeling well and couldn't come. So I said I would definitely record it. LJ says, hello, beautiful ladies. Hi, all. Kim, Town of Windsor. Hello, Town of Windsor, whoever Town of Windsor is. We don't see you yet. But I said just now as I was moving my cards, one fell. That's why I went down. And I was like, you guys are talking. I was trying to get it. And it says, this one is so perfect. And there's a full moon in the middle of it. See it there? All the phases there with our owl. The owl that's on the back of LJ's jacket. Enlightenment is simply returning to the knowledge you came here with. So a little, hey Liz, that's you, Town of Windsor. That's what it was saying on there. Welcome. So we're starting with a beautiful confirmation of, yeah, enlightenment that's why we're here. And that's why you said yes to show up. And thank you. I will say thank you. And if Ashlyn can come in, I know she will say thank you too for any of you who felt the pull to pay it forward. That's what I felt to do. So I said to her, this is what I know best to offer to others. So thank you for that. She has exceeded her goal and she is still raising. Yeah. So she hit that bar. She goes, I'm not done. I'm not done until I'm done. I'm like, okay. So I think she's at almost 1,400 right now. Yeah, that's amazing. And she wants to win because whoever wins gets to split that with her sorority, that sorority's charity, and the fraternity, because it's actually for fraternity. So the fraternity gets it for their half, but whichever sorority sister wins gets it goes towards their charity. And she's very passionate about it's women empowerment. It's about, I think it's dress for success, it's for women who have either been incarcerated or don't have the money. They're trying to go for jobs and they buy them clothes and get them ready for the interview and things like that. So she's really big on that one. So thank you for that. So this is what I thought we would. That's good because I didn't want to be in the middle of a meditation.
It's cutting out.
It's cutting out. Hello, Ashlyn Faith.
Hi, Mom. I put the hat on Chance. He doesn't like it.
Chance is her cat. Now, I can't imagine why a cat with a hat on wouldn't be happy.
Well, I put for everyone to see these little socks on his feet. He didn't like them. He flicked them off.
Oh,
and
so
how do I rotate this camera?
You're asking me the wrong thing, dear.
His hat's kind of. Oh, he's running for it.
He's coming home tomorrow with 2 dogs. That's always interesting here.
He does not.
The poor thing. Good thing he loves you. We're missing him on that. There you go. Oh. That's her therapy cat. Well, I was just talking about you. So I didn't know if and you have perfect timing because I'm actually going to get started and go into meditation. Well, actually a healing. So anything you wanted to say?
Yes, I wanted to say thank you for everybody who donated. So it means a lot.
I was telling them that you're like competitive and you want your sorority to get the other half to put towards your charity.
Yes.
But you'll be okay no matter what.
Well, yes, I said we did the other day. My boyfriend Max and I, we did. Yes. We made like over 100 chocolate covered strawberries on Monday. It was Sunday night, and we made like $130 off them, and they're only like $2 each. So we sold a lot of them. But yeah.
You bringing any home?
No.
Oh, darn. You can make them while
they're not gonna be good by then. I made them Sunday. It's March Friday. So yeah.
All right, my love. Well, we're all saying you're welcome. So you're welcome to go. I know you don't want to stay through the whole thing, but I
gotta get ready for foam. I get to do some foam.
Okay, have fun, dear.
Thanks, Mom. Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
I heard like cars honking there. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do tonight. I picked out of my 3 journals that are about 6 years old altogether. There's more journals upstairs, messages. So I opened to one to see what we needed to hear. And I'm going to share that with you. I think it is very appropriate. Then what we're going to do is about 7 minutes of angelic light healing. It's on the Reiki side, but we're working with specific ascended masters and angels, and we're going to do a clearing so that this way you are as clear as you can be, because you are the most important person for you. You're the channel, you're the beacon. And so we'll do a short clearing, and then I'm going to do something different that I have not done before, because I really truly mean that you're the antenna, you're the receiver. I'm like a straw. That's not really pretty, but I'm just clearing. I'm always clearing and doing a good job of, really working hard at transferring that energy. But what I'm going to do is individually, I'm going to just move cards over, and you're going to tell me when to stop, so that you're going to choose your card. And then I'll read you what the message is, and I'll wait for an additional message for you through the card. So you're going to choose your own card today. Instead of it being me, I'll choose for you, but I'm going to have you sit. That's why we're going to do that clearing first, that you are from your busy day or whatever's going on, or the argument you had with someone before you jumped in. We're going to clear that out so that you are in a good place to choose the message that's most appropriate for you. Now, whatever you choose, anyone else who's sitting here could be like, oh my gosh, that is so for me, right? That's how it works too. But you're going to choose your card. Sound good? All right. All right. So let's start with, I'm going to start with the message. So I'm going to try to, oh, there, I put you on the sides right there, but I suddenly got very large in there. So here, let's start in our message, and then we'll go in our clearing. This is actually from 2019. And it was, if you need to know the day, it was July 16th. So anybody who's into astrology or the stars or the numbers, you can see what was going on this day. So here's our message. I just opened up and said, let us know what is of our highest good. And this is what we've got. Part of it was specific for me, so I'm going past that part. You can't, oh, I disappeared here. Oh, there we go. And there's Gracie. She's like, it's like pandemonium in my house.
Oh,
Welcome to
no.
my real world up there. I don't know what's going on up there. My dragon is protecting us. You have come asking for our guidance, so allow it. Hold on, someone's coming in. There you go. Get out of your own way. You continue to allow fear in, and that won't allow you to hear us. It won't allow us to talk to you. We cannot be silenced. Our silence only comes through when you're not hearing us, when you keep closed, when you're thinking only with your mind. Sometimes I have to read my own writing, which goes fast. Not allowing us in. Nothing else could stop us. Even now, as you are hearing us, you are trying to think of our next words. That was like as I was trying to write. How will they come? What will they mean? Ask us and then listen. We will tell you. You have no need of fear. We can feel it in you, heavy and weighted, unneeded. You need only to ask us to take it from you. You are owning it, using it to keep others away, then being upset because they are not giving you what you need. Why? Because you are not giving you what you need. They will follow your lead. From your energy and light will they be led. Let us lead you. God is here for you. We are here for you. You are not doing it alone. You have new tools, shiny new tools. Read the directions. We are the directions. We will help you put it all together. Let go, let go, let go. You hold your breath and you hold us out. Let us in. We are here to walk by your side. We know where you are headed, where you are all headed. We cannot stop you. We cannot change your direction. We can walk beside you. We can open the door you choose to walk through. You need nothing more than an open heart. Focus. Focus on your breath. Focus on your purpose. Open, receive, share, love. You only need to love and be loved. You need to love yourself, and that's in capital letters. It is no one else's job, not your children, not your husband, not your parents. And you can fill in the blank there for whoever is for you. You were born from love. You live in love. You are love. You have forgotten your purpose. Your purpose is to love yourself, again in capital letters, and teach others how to do that. You can choose how to do it, how much to share, who, when. We will walk with you through your journey. How excited is your Father for all the good you are sharing with others? That is your purpose. Share, teach, receive. You have everything you need. You are He and He is you. You are she and she is you. Stop fearing what you are believing not to be true. There is truth. Don't let it scare you. We will never give you a false message. You asked for the highest truth. You will receive your truth. Today, share. Share your love. Share His love. Stop holding back. Play, play, play. Open your heart and play. Shed what is not serving you. You will receive grace, peace, and love. You are living in restriction. Do you feel that light breeze of happiness wash over you? That hug is all you need. You didn't question, you just held on. God welcomes you always, never letting go. Although you ask for help, you are like that wayward child, pushing Him away, feeling unworthy, angry, lost. Don't push, and you will receive all He holds for you. Your choice, free will. When will happiness and joy and success feel better than fear? That line is like so powerful. I'm going to read that one again. That's what hit me. When will happiness and joy and success feel better than fear? You decide. You have control over your decisions. We cannot enter where we are not welcomed and received. We are always here. And then finished with blessings. So there's a lot in that one. And sorry, in the very beginning, I was rattled listening to everything that was not coming in clearly. Hopefully you got what you needed from that. But really what this comes down to is that when we don't receive, and sometimes we ask and we're like, why are we not receiving this? I need this so badly. It's because our frequency is not available to be receiving that because of where we're at, you know? And when we give ourselves love first, we can receive so much easier. We are the conduit. We are the key. And so that's what we're doing tonight. And blessings, so many blessings tonight, in that we are remembering that we are so worthy. That's where we are right now. And everyone else is going to benefit from this because you're choosing to put yourself first. I said that to a friend that I went to help today with her two little ones. Little ones, I mean, they are 14 months apart. And she said, do you have any words of wisdom as a mom? She doesn't have either parent. And they both passed on. And I said, yeah, take care of yourself. And she goes, no, I mean with the kids, like might be like I could be doing something better. And I said, yeah, love yourself. Take care of yourself, because you're going to teach them what that looks like. And the better that you are, and the more grounded and the more taken care of that you are, those children are going to feel that. And she said, no, I know, but it's hard. And I said, no, you asked me a question. I'm telling you the answer. 23 years later, from my first child, that's his age. If there's anything I could do differently, it would be to take better care of myself, because you're teaching your children that. And she's like, I do need to do that. I said, well, there's your answer. So we're getting the same exact message tonight, to take care of ourselves. So that being said, let's get into our angelic light healing. I said about 7 minutes that we'll go in for there. So if you're in a comfortable place, you want to turn your lights down, or whatever you want to do. I'm going to get myself, well, maybe, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how this looks. I'm going to share the screen so we can hear the music, and we're going to go from there. And I will talk a little bit. I'm just looking at the chat real quick. Kim says, hi all. I will just talk a little just to get you in a relaxed state, and then I'll be quiet as I pull in, and I'll tell you who I'm pulling in what direction, which angels, I've got things popped up all over the place. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look and talk all at the same time. Share. Okay. So let me get our music on. Let me make sure that we're hearing our music. I picked the healing. All right, I can see you guys. Can you, anybody, a nod or thumbs up or in the chat, can you hear that? Can you hear music? No music? Okay, let's see what's happening. Oh, some say yes. Okay, Candace says yes. How are we doing? Anybody? Jamie, you're saying no. Candace, you said you can hear it? LJ, can you hear it? Maybe take out, Jamie, maybe take out your earphones, or can you hear me at least? Oh, you don't hear me either. Oh, you hear me, but no music. I'll turn it up a little bit. See if that helps. Okay, we'll try that. All right, so maybe you weren't meant to hear the music, so we'll just go with what we've got. All right, take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it through your body. And when it feels comfortable, release it out. And continue to breathe normally as I talk until we take another breath in, a deep breath. I'm trying to find you guys. Here you are. And this next light, and well, I already said the word, next breath, imagine like the light that you see behind me coming, pulling it through the crown of your head. So opening up and pulling it through your body, flooding it all the way out through your toes, back down into the earth, grounding yourself from the heavens to the earth. Take another deep breath in. Flood all the nooks and crannies, all the corners of your body, and push out the stale air. The air that's been being held in your shoulder or your jaw or any part of your body where you tend to get stuck in. Scan yourself. See where things are stuck. See where there's an extra pain. Is it your neck? If so, move it a little bit side to side. Is it your shoulders? Drop them down. Is it your stomach that we tend to hold in all the time because that's what looks good? If that's the case, push it out. Let it fall. In fact, put your hands on your stomach. Give appreciation for that body that allows you to stand or sit up or speak or breathe wherever you are in your journey. Love your body. Say thank you. Give gratitude. That's abundance for every breath we take, every day that we're alive. Breathe in and breathe out. And here is when we call in. You can call in any of your angels, any of your guides, any of your loved ones who've passed over that you want to hold and spend time with tonight. How beautiful is that to pull in the collective of energy. I am calling for all of us to be in the center of the four beams of light. Our pillar angels. To the north is Uriel, to the east is Raphael, to the south is Michael, and to the west is Gabriel. So all of us are within these four pillars from heaven to earth, surrounding us, keeping us safe, allowing only what is of our highest truth and love, compassion, and healing to reach us. Any energy that is dense that is not of our highest good will be kept on the outside of our 4 pillars. And as I get quiet in a minute, what I want you to do is imagine. And I say imagine because we get stuck on, am I feeling it? Is it happening? I don't think so. What's happening? And imagine is truth. The fact that we're on this Zoom has been imagined into fruition. Someone had the ability to imagine it could happen. The ring lights around me were imagined into fruition. My clothing, my jewelry, your room, everything. Imagination is truth. So during this 7 minutes of healing, imagine that whatever is ailing you or hurting you is healed. That is truth. We're not pretending. We are imagining, which is truth. And from here, I will be quiet and allow you to receive through me what you've called for. You being the bright beacon that you are, you the healer of yourself. Take a nice cleansing breath in. Let that be the water that you drink. Let the air be your fluid. Let that fill your body. Rub your hands together. I always do that to kind of bring myself back. To bring myself in, to ground myself back in. And come on back. And if you have water with you, take a sip of water, which I do. I want to bring us back on, all of us. Well, why is it not? Show grid. Okay, but it's not showing grid. In fact, I can't even see everyone. Well, I guess I'm not going to. I was hoping to get us back all on the screen, but so I could see you, but it's not doing that. Oh, hold on. There we go. How are we doing? Any thing that you imagined? What was, if you don't have to share, but if you'd like to, anything that you any certain healings that you are focusing on that you, or lights? I saw some beautiful lights, very pinks and whites at the end, but anything anybody wanted to share? I don't want to be the only one talking or maybe that's what you're happy with tonight. Anything? Jamie, just got to unmute.
I was thinking about healing and just trusting and like letting go of insecurity. And I could feel like a swirling. Like I could feel, yeah.
It's funny because at one point,
like
and I don't know
energy.
what at one point I feel like I was removing, like I don't know what I do with my hands sometimes, and so whatever I look like, I don't really care. But there was a moving. So it's funny you should say that, because I was like there was something that was stuck, I don't know who or what, and it was like kind of like trying to stir up what was like this, like a moving. So I definitely fell over to my right at one point, which is feminine, right? Wait, did I say that wrong? Wait, left, right, receiving. No, that's masculine. That's the masculine side. So something that you're releasing. I had to think about that for a second. I suddenly am like so hot, which is not the case in this room, but like after all that, like I am like sweating. So thank you for sharing your energy with me. Wow, it got hot over here. So yeah, that's a beautiful trusting. Wow, that is a big piece to be able to heal, right? To trust. That's the center of everything. All right, I just dropped another card. Let's see what this one is.
And I was moving it. I like my
Oh, and
hands
here
on my
in your
heart and I
heart.
could just feel like yeah.
Don't you love that when you just know where to go and you trust where that is? By the way, not that I didn't do this on camera, but for those of you who are not here live, who are watching it later, what I did when I set up Sacred Space before you came, I took a picture of all the people that signed up. And so when I set my Sacred Space, I spoke your name. There's a power in saying a name aloud. So you are all put into this very sacred space that we're in right now. And the reason why I love using music, aside from just loving it, and it's a vibrational and it calls in angels, is that we all get to share in that same frequency. Like, how does healing work long distance? We're on the same frequency. And the easiest way to do that, to play a song that we're all listening to at the same time, to really get us in that same frequency. You guys heal all the time. A grandchild, a friend, a niece, a nephew, you kiss them, you kiss their boo-boo, right? You make it better. You're healing. You're the healer. Well, they heal. Let's put it that way. You share your energy. So that's what it is, right? Except at a grander scale. Thank you. Anybody else want to share anything? Just looking at the chat before we go any further, because it said new messages. But it's louder. Okay. Yeah, for some reason it was soft. Okay, I'm glad it went up. Very low. Okay, I'm glad that you heard it afterwards. In the beginning, I was trying to talk over it, and sometimes it's like out. I'm in my ears, it's really loud. So sometimes it's hard to tell. Anything else? No. All righty. So who would like to be the first victim? I mean, volunteer. of of a message for you. And I feel like we're in Vegas. Kim, it says May, you got it. All right, so you turn yours on because you're going to tell me. I've already shuffled and saged. In fact, my family does not love sage. They're always like, oh, she's smoking weed. And I'm like, I'm burning sage. You could do that out there. So we're going to start and you're going to tell me when to stop. Okay. You got you. She's like, I got a big hookah
My
of sage
sage.
over here. Oh, Jess, I'm glad. Would you
Okay.
say it was powerful? I'm just going to read it before we go on. That was so powerful. I felt myself walking, standing, and dancing at my dad's wedding. That's what you need to do. You imagine it into fruition. Good girl. Yeah. Well, not good. I don't like that. True girl. There you go. No good. Good. All right. You ready, Kim?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to move them over. You tell me when you want me to stop.
Stop.
All right. You have conflict is simply curiosity with intention. It's time to get curious. You are in the breaking open place right now. And my body I'm like buzzing right now in resonance. I'm going to tell you a vision I had this morning when I sat in the car because I was thinking, do I share this? I'm like, I don't even know what it has to do with. And it's for you. And it's the truth. I was sitting in the car when my friend went in with her baby and I stayed with the little one and I put on frequency music and I did healing. We connected and I have a specific message for her. And then I had this vision and this is what's making me think of it. And it's for all of us, but you picked the card. So that's why I'm going to share this. And it was, rapids, when you go down in a boat on one of those little rubber boat, I've never done it, but you go down the rapids, right? And so I'm seeing this and I'm like, oh my God, this is not for me. I'm in this, rubber boat going down these rapids. I'm like, oh my God, I've got a vest on. I'm like, why am I seeing this? This is not something I would ever choose to do. This is scary. And then suddenly all the water, and I'm saying this because look at this right here. You can see that all the water disappeared from the rapids. And it was just these rocks, rocky. Imagine all the water disappearing, right? And I heard, so the message was, you think you're scared, but you're always being taken care of. You have a life jacket on, you're in a boat, you're in the water, and you're able to flow over all these parts. Without the water, you're cutting your feet. You can't go down sections, right? Because now it's a steep fall. What are you going to do? Jump over that? You needed that water as the cushion. And I'm like, okay, but that's still scary. And it was, but you're being taken care of. You have all of these things. So you have the fear, but you don't look at what you've got to take care of you. You've got these cushions. The water is your cushion. The boat is your cushion. This life jacket is your cushion. So wherever we're standing, pay attention to the safety that we have. We tend to only look at the fear-based place. I'm like, this is scary, right? I'm like, I would never do this. And then suddenly when the water was gone, it was kind of cool. I'm standing in these crater opening spaces. I'm like, you can't go down to the next level. Without water that's going to flow over it, right? You just falling into rocks. And so the point putting the water back in is that you're always being taken care of. And in your conflict, right? Wherever that is, that conversation, that shift, that change, that growth, that next thing, you're always being taken care of. So ask for that guidance. You have the safety. Sometimes we focus on the conflict, whatever it might be for all of us, as being so overwhelming, but there's safety already there. There's nothing that we cannot do. Imagine, as Jamie was like, she could feel that, right? And Jess saying that, imagine that you're always held because it's the truth. So whatever conflict is that you are thinking you're going in, it's just another conversation. It's just another shift. And you are well being held. Thank you for that. Good card. Does any of that resonate?
Perfect.
Yeah. Good.
Oh, all of it resonated. So yeah.
Strange. It was
no,
a weird
perfect.
vision. Now I know. I'm like, do I share that with someone? I don't know who I'm supposed to share that with. And there we go. Thank you. Thank you for your card. Thank you for sharing your card with us. Beautiful. Next. I won't say victim. I'll say volunteer. Patty. Awesome. All right. I'm just shuffling them a little on myself before we go. All right. You ready to choose your message?
Yes.
Okay. So card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4, card 5,
Stop.
card. Okay. I'm going to go with that card. Oh, I haven't picked this one in a very long time. This one is your love is the nourishment your body craves. It's time you remember to feed your soul. And there's a little, before I even knew what a charcuterie board was, this was my first deck of cards. I'm like, now I know what a charcuterie board is. Don't ask me how to spell it, but, and this is an autumn card. So something falling away. And for you, falling away is not people necessarily, but old beliefs, allowing them to fall like the leaves off of a tree. You know, they've been there, but they're no longer, some of them have died off. There's no more, they're not green anymore. Let them fall to the ground, let them blow away. That's because there's 4 different colors of this deck, and that's autumn. And the love is the nourishment your body craves. It doesn't say need, it says craves. And that's back to, so all of us, you know, Patty picked it, but it's for us, every single one of this, us, we crave it. And we do not realize how much so until it's almost like when they say, when you're thirsty, you're already past needing water. Like when you feel the need to drink water, you're already way past that. That's what happens to us. This is what I'm getting when we're feeling lonely or out of sorts, or someone's not loving us, or right. We're already past, so far past, because we've been starving ourselves from our own love. So, I mean, not to say that there's some really nice looking food on here, so you could be making sure that you feed yourself well too. But really, it's about the love, and not so much just standing in front of the mirror, which is, mirror work is great. I'm not saying that, but it's in every single time that you find yourself putting yourself down, or why did I say that? Or I went to make a video yesterday and I'm standing there in front of the video. I started doing it. I'm like playing with my hair. I'm like, oh, that part's dead. What's going on over there? And there was a mirror off to, it was in Ashland's room. There's a mirror to the left. And I happened to look over and I'm like, oh my God. Right. So here I am leaving this inspirational message as I'm pulling myself apart. I'm like, we got to stop this. Like I stopped the video, and I had a little self-talk of love. I'm like, loving that. Thank you. Glad that it's there. It's keeping all my organs in, and didn't, you know, how to have a conversation. So that's the self-love, is in the small places.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For all of us. There's not a person here that doesn't need to hear that. So thank you. So we thank you for thank you for stopping us there. Who's next? Nobody needs to hear me saying Heather. Awesome. All right. I'm splitting these a couple times just to get them. Our energy is good in there. All right, you ready to start counting? Like I'm counting cards. I'm in Vegas. Ready to, no, not really. Counting cards. Ready? All right. Card, 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 card,
Stop.
card. Oh, we got another. There's like a theme here between you and Kim. Incorporate nature into your grounding. Your outlet for stress grows your inlet for peace. Your outlet for stress grows your inlet for peace. So where you're willing to let go of things. So this is what I mean. You see how there's like a similar type of rockiness, like with Kim's in there? And it's a beautiful path. And there's like, I don't know what it is, but it looks like there's like this little building with these 2 arches over here, these 2 beautiful arches. My green screen is messing up with the tree in there. There we go. So for you and for all of us, grounding is so essential. It really is. it's beyond just the word. Somehow I feel like the word doesn't have enough in there. So I will say personally, in the last couple weeks, for whatever reason, my body has been a little off and I've felt more anxiety than I felt in a while. And I will go outside in my bare feet on my deck. My deck alone, at least it's wood and it's attached. And I feel so different just from stepping out there. Like I don't have shoes and socks on right now. I never do. When I have my calls, I'm always barefoot to get at least a connection of the ground to feel. So huge for you and your little boy. Oh my gosh. You know, when I saw him this summer, as he's going and touching all the trees. So this is the confirmation for you. This is not a new, but it's keep that in mind. We don't tend to think of that right away, right? Especially like something's off. Oh my gosh. We don't think, let me go outside. But what they're telling you is, let me think, let me go outside for a moment, a moment. Like I did that the other day, walked down the stairs, freezing, standing in the grass. I could only stand there for about 30 seconds. It absolutely recalibrated me. Even the cold was it changed what I was feeling. It almost shocked me out of what I was in my system. So grounding, don't have it be the last thing on your list. Really think about first, like grab him, step outside just for a moment and come back inside. That's enough. You don't have to take a whole long walk. It's great if you can, but it can be an immediate, especially if you're feeling off, if your hormones are off right now, if things are feeling funky, outside, outside. Light. Oh my gosh, sunlight. Now that it's getting warmer, you can almost feel the sun warmer than it, you know, it's still cold out there. We're getting snow tomorrow, but it is warmer than it's been. So it's huge for you. I can't say enough about that.
Yeah.
And
I feel like when I do take those moments outside, that it's like, this is what you needed, Heather. Like, even if it's just like to go clean up the yard or whatever, I'm like, holy crap. So I get when you're like, just do it, you know, even if it's like grab him and go out because he wants to be outside. He's my motivator to do stuff lately. And I'm like, okay, buddy, I get it. All right.
you're like, really? Okay, fine. Yeah, he's your messenger. Honestly, like think about it. Like we are such a small person in this on this earth that has this frequency that runs everything, the seasons, the tides, the sun, the moon, right? It's in cycle all the time. It doesn't lose its cycle. We lose our cycle. So it would make sense when we're off that we stand outside with the biggest frequency there is and say, okay, I will pick up off of yours. I am so small. It takes like that because the frequency of the earth is such a grounded, it knows what it's doing. Aw, somebody says, Patty says you're glowing.
Oh, thank you.
And for whatever reason, talking about this frequency right now and grounding, my legs are buzzing. So there's a big confirmation for all of us that are here. So thank you for your card, Heather.
Thank you.
All right. Who else? Well, there's lots of us here, but who would like their card? Oh, I see a hand raised in the corner. Who's up here? And they're in the dark. Is that you, Melissa? Because I don't have a name. It just says iPhone. I just want to know who I'm asking for because I don't see anything. Who's iPhone with a hand raised? Because I want to make sure I'm picking for you. Hello? It's you? Okay, you're cutting up, but okay. So that says Melissa. All right. Hopefully I can hear you. I'm going to tell you the cards and let's see. Oh, I hear you. All right, so you can tell me when to stop. Ready?
Sorry.
No worries.
Okay.
All right. Card.
Okay.
Card. 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 Card.
Stop.
Okie dokie. Okay. When you don't
Stop.
receive love, it is simply because you are not giving it to yourself. We got a theme here tonight from the very first message to Patty's to Melissa's, and we got a little Mother Mary going on in here because every one of
You hear
these,
me?
this particular, yep, I hear you. Hopefully you hear me.
Okay.
We got a little Mother Mary in our rose
Yeah, I do.
here. So that's in our peace sign, right? But when you don't receive love, it is simply because you are not giving it to yourself. Gracie agrees up there. barking. And this is in purple. So it's our summer, it's our blooming and new growth. So be willing. Here's the additional part for you and all of us who are listening. We need to make room. We need to make room. You know, it's easy to say, love yourself, but we have to be willing to release something. There was a part of that message. Now that I closed it, I don't have it open to that any longer. That was, when will you be willing to have happiness and joy feel as good as pain, resentment, right? We tend to hold on to that. Are we willing to sacrifice? Are we willing to sacrifice our pain to feel happiness and to feel love? So that's a huge piece that sometimes we need to make that room. We're in that constricted mode. Yeah, but they did this to me, or they said that to me, right? When we repeat, we're on that repeat of resentment. There's no room for that flow of love. So the added message for us and for Melissa is, what are you willing to that's the question. What are you willing to release? If you want more of something, what are you willing to trade? I'm seeing like that's a sign for trade. That's like to replace. That's a sign. And that's what I'm seeing. That's why I signed it. What are you willing to trade? What are you willing to get over to them to receive more love? So that's a question for all of us. That's a biggie. Yeah, but right? Especially when someone has hurt us. Yeah, but we love to do that. Yeah. We're not going to get more love when in the yeah, but no, but. All right. I saw somebody else's hand. Oh, Kim, there we go. Kim put it in the chat. I would like a card. All right, Kim, you got it. You're in outer space, and we're going to be sending this. You like match I love this one. This one always reminds me of Archangel Michael. He's my guy. I don't know if he knows it. I'm sure he knows it. All right, Kim, are you able to get on and tell me when you want me to stop, or do you want me to just do it myself? Sometimes we can't. Ooh, I'm like echoing in my ears. Are you there, Kim? Do it yourself. Okay, I will do it myself. By the way, when I do it, I'm not doing card by card. Sometimes I'm doing little chunks. Okay. I'm telling you, what's up with this? I have a million cards and they all have very similar pictures. All right, Kim. This is what I mean. I feel like all three of them, like from the Rocky conflict to the outside, like all three of them are the outside. And this is the inverse one. This is one, when I put it together, that's one. And then I put two pictures that are upside down together. Do not concern yourself with living in a linear fashion. The magic lies in living in the inverse of normal. Which is why there's two pictures on this particular card, right? Normal is boring. Normal is sheep. Normal is not what we've been made to believe. First of all, there's no such thing. And it's not about linear. I will do this and then this will happen and this will happen. When you let go of that and you allow it to be layers and swirls and above and below and forward and back, things don't happen the way we think in linear, right? We need to live forward to understand in reverse, and we go, oh my gosh, right? Be willing. I'm going to go back to that first message, Kim, and all of us. Be willing to play. I'm going back to that message. It said play, play, play. Be willing to get things wrong and play. Think of it as play. We tend to put so much pressure that when we try something new, I'm like, how's it going to look? How are people going to believe that I'm doing it? What are they going to think of me? Like right now, I'm launching these mini courses, right? I have to stay out of my head. Well, who's going to want it? Who's not going to want it? Other people have done this. It's none of my business. I'm just going to play. I'm going to make videos. I'm going to talk about it. And it's passionate. And I play. And what happens, happens. I put the work in. I show up, but play. And be willing to get it wrong, whatever that looks like, and be willing to not worry about what people think of you. Play. I know this said linear, but it's really directed to the play. So whatever you're looking at, wanting to try, Just play with it. Kids make blocks and towers and they don't care that they fall down. They do it just because they want to be involved in it. And it's fun to do it. So don't worry about the outcome. Whatever it is that's coming up in your life, or you don't even know it's coming up yet, don't worry about the outcome. Have a plan, but don't be tied to the outcome and just play. That's when success and greatness happens. The people who are willing to play without being tied to the outcome. They know where they want to go. And then sometimes along the way, what was it? Post-its were developed. They were trying something else and it didn't work. And that's how Post-its were developed, because of the stickiness that they were trying to find a glue that didn't work. And now we got Post-its, right? Something that we don't live without. I'm a Post-it queen. So there you go, Kim. Non-linear and play. Big time for us. Who else? Ooh, I got cards flying all over the place here. Do I have a hand? Do I have comments maybe? Oh, no bad, no worry. LJ, you looking for one? Okay. Do you want to stop? You want to tell me when to stop?
Card number 9, please.
So, oh, I like that. Card number 9, please. She sounds like she's an expert on it. All right. I like that. I didn't think of that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you picked an intuitive number. You got this one. Evolve, emerge, expand. You're returning to who you were created to be. And she's in that tree. To me, she reminds me of a birch tree. I love birch trees. I love they bend, they don't break. I'm sure sometimes they do, but she is you. And even here, it looks like the veins of a leaf. I don't know if you can see that all through her here. And you are doing the work. You certainly are doing the work to return to who you were created to be. Specifically with your soul purpose, your soul contract. Some of your illness, your dis-ease, right? All of our dis-ease is when we're not connected and we're not aligned with what we came here to do. I looked at that little baby today and I went, this is not fair, because I could look at him and I said, you have all the answers to the universe. I've said that to Heather when I was visiting Grayson for the first time. I'm like, but this is not fair, because he's looking at me and he can't speak. He can't tell me. I'm like, this is not right. You have it all, but they made it so you really can't tell anyone, right? I'm looking at him. I'm like, all of it's there, all of it, but you can't tell me because you can't think and you can't speak yet, right? Kind of given amnesia, and we've been given amnesia, and we spend the rest of our life learning, growing, and returning to what we came here to be in the first place. So allow those pieces to fall away. Dead branches, like Patty, the leaves, they're not giving you sustenance. They're not holding you. So there might be people that you let fall away. They're the twigs that are not really giving you strength any longer. And you're at that point because you deserve and you're worthy of being healthy and strong and happy and light. And you're doing it. So trust, because that's your confirmation. We had our call the other day, right? You are returning. You're returning. We all are. So again, not just LJ, but directed to LJ, but for all of us. So thank you, LJ, for your cards.
Thank you.
I shouldn't say card. It's a card, but it's not. It's a message, because it came as messages first, and then I happened to put them on cards. Because people get so stuck on cards. Like, no, it had nothing to do with the cards. It just on a pretty piece of paper that's easy to pick, right? It's really hard to say, here, let me open my journal for you all at home, right? All right, who's next? Rebecca, you got it. All right, do you want to count? Do you want to give me a number? I like that. That was kind of cool too. How do you want to feel it? What's your intuition say?
Maybe count.
Okay, so then I'll just keep going and then you tell me when.
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Stop.
5. All right. Do you find yourself, do you guys hold your breath sometimes?
Mhm.
Just now, as I was counting them, I found my stomach was in and I was holding my breath. I'm like, stop, because it stops the flow. Like, you need to breathe. That's how we receive better. So I don't know why, but that was just now because I was feeling that. All right, you've got Summer. This is one of my favorite. Those of you who've coached with me know that I've said this back is back is back as far as we do not know what we do not know until we know more. And this is a growth card. This is Summer. It's a complete, full, not even just coming through in spring is like budding through. It's like full on, beautiful, lush, everything, right? Relationships, actions, new actions, relationships in something new, a new endeavor, something that you're going to be doing, but there are going to be new people too. So that's why I went to relationships, but action, something. And specifically for this one, I'm feeling forgiveness. We do not know what we do not know until we know more. We tend to get stuck in our head. Why didn't I could have done this sooner? Why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I could be at this point in my life if I had decided to do this, right? You can't. You can't until that very moment, until those vertices come together, until that moment, to all the things that we needed to go through and to that point. And so whatever may be coming up, if it's not relevant yet, but it will be. That's why I'm like, sometimes take a message and leave it back here because it'll come. You're like, I don't know what that is. It'll come if it doesn't make sense yet. When that time comes, it's kind of like a V8 moment, like, wow, why didn't I do that? No, just say thank you. Thank you. Oh, didn't know it, couldn't be here before, didn't have the equipment, didn't have the stamina, didn't have the personal belief, whatever it might be, until this very moment. And instead of, don't give it 1 second of not resentment, regret. Not 1 second of regret. Say, oh, thank you. Thank you for thank you for allowing me to be right here, right now. Because as soon as you do that, I've been talking about abundance, right? As soon as we shift, instead of like, oh, and we open up into abundance, that's where that we attract more of it. Like, oh, thank you for letting me be right here, right now. I was not available for this before, and I know it because I didn't know until now. So whatever that comes up, be in a receiving mode of gratitude. This is the moment. Thank you very much, because that's going to heighten, and it's going to, whatever's coming next is going to bring more to you.
Thank
I
you.
like that. You're welcome. I'm going to remember that too, because I tend to do that. I could have gotten here sooner. No, you couldn't, because if you could have got there sooner, guess what? You would have. You would have. Anybody read the book, The Alchemist? Oh my gosh, I just finished it. For 4 years, 4 or 5 years, I kept picking it up and putting it down. I'm like, no, I don't want to read that. And like now I'm like, oh, it's storytelling. Yeah, so good. I'm reading Jamie's lips. Yeah, I got to the end. I'm like, oh my God, yes, right? This little shepherd who's, and it's so cool. I don't want to give away the ending, like all the pieces that came together, but it's really good. And it really, really is a reminder that it's not the outcome at all, ever. Thank you for your card, Rebecca.
Thank you, Jen.
Who else? Who else? Who else? Jamie. All right. You're gonna count. You're gonna give me a number. What's your
I'm
placement?
gonna take a page out of LJ's book, who's looking so beautiful over there. I never see her hair down. You look lovely. I miss you.
I miss you too. Look at these these red cheeks from you were talking about fire in my cheeks and then the water to put them out. So all I see is red cheeks right now.
Mhm.
They look healthy.
I'm
Those are
healthy.
good.
Healthy.
Yeah, that's vibrant. So you're gonna pick a number. Is that what you're doing?
Card 11.
11.
Because I always see 11, 11. So 11 jumped out to me.
2, 3, 4, 5. I'm breathing. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 11. Ooh, I love this one. This, like, literally, this plant is hanging in Ashton's room. It's crazy. Some of these cards came before, and then we decorated our house with what the cards are. So you've got a purple. Where you stand has been designed for your optimal optimal growth. You are planted exactly where you will grow. Let your roots seep deep into the soil. And it's got this beautiful little boho-ish planters there.
Mm.
I feel like can you feel the tie of some of these messages all the way through, right? In this collective energy that we set up tonight with Rebecca's, is that where you are is where you need to be. There again, same idea of, well, the extended message, and we don't know what we don't know until we know more, but the extended message is you can't be there until you're ready to be there. You needed, like the alchemist, so funny, not funny, that you're saying, yes, I read it, it's so good. You had to be at all those places, all the people, all the experiences, all of the ish, that we go through. It's all purposeful, right? At the end of that book, it talks about, well, why can't it just be easy, right? Why can't it just be easy to get here? Like, why is it, if it's supposed to be right, shouldn't it just flow? And I loved how they talked about, like, sometimes we get passionate about something because it was beginner's luck. It was so easy. We're like, oh my God, that's it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And then you're like, but why are things hard now? Why are there highs and lows and highs and lows? You're like, but it was so good. It's like, that was the hook. It's like, yeah, well, you wouldn't have done it if it didn't feel good. Like the momentum, if anyone listens to Abraham Hicks, right? You're in that momentum. So it feels good. You get started, and then you're like, what's going on here? Right. And then you get to a point where you're right there, like right there, to step fully in to the entire process, like right there, and everything goes to shit. Like, you're like, what? But I thought this is what I was supposed to do. That's that moment where you get to decide. They keep saying, are you sure? Do you recommit? It's almost like confirmation in the Catholic Church. We're like, do you commit? Do you recommit? And you're at that moment where everything is like, but I thought this is what I'm supposed to do. It is. But are you willing to say yes? And so for you and all that, this is the extra, even though it's not on here, is that you are exactly where you're meant to be. And even if anything is rocking you at this point, you can question it, but know that the answer already is yes. You are exactly where you're meant to be. So it's not saying don't question it. You need to step into that. You need to, it's not like, oh no, everything's great. It's fine. Yeah, no, this feels hard. So acknowledge it. Don't be like, oh, don't spiritually bypass. They'd be like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sing Kumbaya and it's going to be fine. Like, it will be fine. We know that because it's faith, right? We know that with action, but allow the ish and sit and say, okay, this is what I'm recommitting to, even through this, or not. You get to choose. That's the free will, like we heard about. I don't write a lot about free will. That would happen to be that message, the beginning. We have the free will. At any point, you can say, no, I back out. You can. But based on this one, you are exactly where you need to be.
Oh, I'm in the ish. All right. Mhm. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for nothing, Jen. Thanks for telling me.
It's all good.
Like,
It's
it
all
is.
good.
And it is. And we know that, right? And that's why we walk this journey. How many times do we say, like, people think that the being spiritual is rainbows and butterflies, and yeah, no. Once in a while, you go to a retreat or you have like a high moment. You're like, oh, and we need those moments. That's what carries us through the ish. But we are very woke, and most people are not. And I don't say that to make separation, but it's not for the faint of heart. The journey. Thank you for your card, Jamie.
Thank you.
Definitely seeing themes. Who else? Where are we? Liz, I knew it was gonna be you. I knew it was gonna be you. I had one of somebody who was gonna, well, I guess she couldn't come live. A lot of people that couldn't come live tonight. I think listened to you the other. She goes, I listened to my first singing bowls.
Oh.
And so I was like, oh, so you were it. You were it. So you were on a good day for her. I think she had gotten like acupuncture or cupping or something, and you all on the same day. So
You can't
you
beat that.
touched, no, you touched some lives. All right, what's your choice? Do you want to count? Do you want a number? What do you want to do?
I want number 29.
Ooh, 29. 1, 2, 3. Breathe. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. I love this one. And I argued with the deck. I argued with my team that we co-created to put this picture. I did not want this picture, but now I understand it at the time. Your first step towards release of pain is understanding that your error came from forgetting your truth. You are loved unconditionally. And I had a different picture I was going to put on the card. I know this, so I remember it for sure. And this was this beautiful little innocent child with this bunny. No way. I bought the little girl I saw today a bunny. And she kept saying, rabbit, rabbit. And I gave her a bunny. That's so crazy. It was really cute and really soft. Anyway, this hit me today. Your first step towards release, listen to this again, of pain is understanding that your error came from forgetting your truth. You are loved unconditionally. Here's why. Here's the extra in this. Change is scary because we are being asked to give up something. Even when that's pain, we don't want to step into what we don't know yet. And sometimes we do. So it's not always. Liz, you might be going, yeah, there's plenty of things I'm doing. Yeah, but there'll be something, and it will be not necessarily, I'm not feeling like it's an endeavor. It's something more personal. It's something more connected to a release of a relation, not a relationship or release, but something that's going to bring you peace. So it's not when I say fearing the unknown or change, it's not like, a new gig, not like that, not that kind of new thing, to actually old, like something that has been there. That's what the feeling is. It's I'm feeling, I want to keep going like this. It's not like, oh, there's not a lot of fear in trying new stuff. That I feel like it's fine. But it's sometimes when we're holding on to old things, old belief systems, old relationships, or how we see them ourselves in the relationship. We're loved unconditionally. Other people don't always have us feel that way. And we get used to receiving certain things from people, certain language, certain actions, and it doesn't have to be huge or abusive. It's just what we get used to. Like, that's who they are, right? How many times have we said that? That's who they are. That's just them, right? It's light. It's not huge. Like, what I'm feeling is not like this monstrous. It's almost like it's so woven in there. How often do we do that? That's just who they are. Yeah, they're not going to change. True. We don't want to fight reality, but the truth of it is that's who they are, and we don't need to be part of that. The harder piece. So I'm not telling you to give up anyone. I'm telling you to, well, I'm not telling you anything. It's saying you are loved unconditionally. They're saying you are loved unconditionally. So no matter what it is that you're looking at, and we tend to question, is that me? Is that them? Am I taking it too personally? Am I being too sensitive? We go into that whole, so much thought, and we don't need to do any of that. We're loved unconditionally. And if what's happening does not serve us, does not feel like unconditional love, it's not of our highest good. And the reason why it's the child is that, how do we treat children? Well, most of us, hopefully, treat little children, right? I today was coddling. I'm talking to him, right? I'm like, Ashton called in at one point. She's like, "Oh my God, you have baby fever." I'm like, "No, I don't, but I'm enjoying it." While I had him in my arms, right? Such unconditional love. I wouldn't drop him. I wouldn't put him down every moment. I'm like, "Oh, is your neck okay? Are you okay?" Oh, I'm totally uncomfortable, right? As I'm holding him at one point, I'm like, "Oh my God," right? But I'm taking care of him So much love. Do we do that for ourselves? How often do we put that much work into loving ourselves to that extent? We just get by most of the time, bare minimum. But I got to go do this, and I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to take care of this, and I got to drop that off. But so and so needs this, and I can send out that email, right? The focus is love. That's it. Take that part off your plate. Take that part off your plate. I don't have to be available to that person, right? But we've been indoctrinated to believe that that's what a good person is. Take care of everybody. And we speak of self-love, but we don't sit in that, really. And I think about that baby today, all that love that I gave him. If I took an ounce of that and gave it to myself, so think about that. There's so much self-love. We keep coming back to that today. Releasing pain comes down to that you are loved unconditionally. Be willing to, for Liz and for everyone who's listening to it, be willing to leave a spot open. We don't like to let go of something because we don't know what's going to come fill it. Is anything going to fill it? Is a new friend going to show up? Is whatever. Yeah. If it's pain, release it and it'll be filled. It'll be filled. Water will just flow in. And you are loved unconditionally. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does it resonate at all?
Yes, it's perfect.
Good.
Not
I think
not what I was feeling, but I knew what I needed to hear, you know?
You know, it's so funny because when I have people ask a question, sometimes I forgot to say that. We can ask a question, but we're going to get the answer we need. Right? Sometimes you're like, but I don't want that one. I wanted a light, fluffy one. There's love. That card had so much love. That little
Yes.
baby. Ugh.
Yes. No, I appreciate it. I got the message. So I'm very grateful.
I did too, actually, in something. So I think, and when I say I thank you for your card, I really mean it, because each one of you, I've been able to, there's something in there for me. That's why I think I kept talking of it. It's very relevant to something for me. So thank you. Thank you for being willing to be the one that nobody really wants.
It's okay.
I think we have more, right? Candace, we didn't pick yours yet. And Jess, we didn't pick yours. So Candace, you want your one?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
I'll pick number 7. That's my number this year.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you the next question. I'm going to get funky here. Do you want me to do card by card 7 or 7 breaks?
The 7th card.
Okay. Look at all these. You're like, more choices.
And
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have Jamie's daughter. There's a card that we always think of as her daughter in here. I love this one. It's 29, actually. Who picked 29? Like literally the number is 29. Crazy. Not even like a common number. Not that any number is common. You hold the light to heal the world. By healing your soul, you heal the earth. Well, isn't that perfect? Candace?
I quit. No.
I saw like all your posts about your regulating your yeah. And again, there's that little innocence, because this is a little girl. This is not a grown-up person. In this beautiful, I don't want to say swamp. That sounds terrible. Marsh. Actually not in a swamp. But holding it, right? Holding it right there. You hold the light to heal the world. By healing your soul, you heal the earth. And truthfully, the soul, this is a little play here, because the soul is always fine. The soul's always fine. It knows what it's doing. It's more our spirit that needs it. But we tend to flog ourselves, right? All this self-love, right? Flogging. And so that dampens our light. Even the breathing, is as light as that was, as I was counting cards, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not breathing. I'm holding in my stomach, right? Breathe. Breath. Oh my gosh, how can we forget that? You hold the light to heal the world. It's within you. It's the perfect, what we say, we're the beacons here. How we congregate, how we came together. This may have been a free group tonight to pay it forward, but don't think that wasn't part of the plan. That every person that showed up here is part of a healing. Just being here, speaking of love, high vibration, light, truth, we're shifting. We're shifting everything. This little meeting, this little evening, right, is everything. So Candace, your light, you're already thinking about how much you've done. And in the time that I've known you, living all over the world, different places, right? The shifts that you have made are instrumental, not only in your family's life, but that's a no-brainer, right? Because they see how you're growing, you shift, they shift. But the light of all your clients, right? You pass that along every single episode. I keep hearing the word episode. That's not the word I want, but that's the word that keeps coming in. It's not episode. That's strange because I couldn't fight it. It kept coming in. Some of your interactions feeling, because I'm like, episode like a TV? No. Like,
Oh, shut up. Don't even say that. I literally journaled today that I would totally have the Kardashians. I would have way more viewers than them. Could you see my family? OCD, autism, PTSD, ADHD. Like, we would take
that is
television.
so funny. That's why I got quiet, because I'm like, something's off. I wanted another word and I kept hearing episode. I'm like, all right, I'll say it, but that really is not, I don't understand. Like, you have to
My
trust when
journaling.
you channel things, like you have to trust it. I'm like, that's why I'm like, what? I don't understand. I'm like, I don't want that word. I want a different word. And like episode, that's crazy.
My journaling today was all about the well, that's all I've been working on is inner child stuff.
Yeah, but specifically that you're like, we could have an episode, like we
I
could have
I told my husband today, I said, you know what, I said, forget all this social media stuff. I'm going the big road. We're doing a reality TV show.
the best. I'm like sitting here
Talk
trying to
about
fight.
real world.
Yeah, I'm like, this doesn't make
Welcome
any
to
sense.
my
I'm like,
shit show.
well, now it makes sense, because I'm like, I'm trying to really use the card. I'm arguing as I'm sitting here. I'm like, I don't understand. Well, there you go. Thank you for explaining it, because I couldn't get off the word. That's why I had to say it. I'm like, I don't understand it at all. Well, now we do. So you know what you're talking about. And who knows, you can imagine that into fruition too, if that's what you would want. I mean, you might be playing with it going, would it be what you would want at all times? People, maybe not. But the playfulness of it, right? Like, we could make light of this. And how important is that? So it may not be something to come to fruition, but the playfulness of it, that you can look at it that way. And that's how important. And that's important to you too. Like, keep it light. Keep it light, even with all the healing, because it's going deep. Know that it's already there for you. It's already there for you. Like, you don't have to dig. I mean, you're going to do all the things that you need to do, but know that it's already there. Like, if you want, you can just be like, I just want to hold the light for a while. Can I just do that? Can I just hold it? Because I don't want to do this work right now. I just want to hold it. And you absolutely can. Just take it and hold it to your heart. And then you can go back to your work again. But play. Keep playing too. Going back to that one. Oh, I'm looking at all these messages. So thank you for explaining the episode too. That's really funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, I couldn't get past it. I really was trying for you. And I'm like, all right, this is not going to make any sense, but I have to say it. 29 is my son's birthday. 211 was always his number for sports. Liz, that's crazy. That's why you picked it. Jess, and my birthday is the 29th too. I love how so connected tonight. So connected. Amazing. Right? Amazing. Jess, you want your card? No, we didn't pick one yet, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you have a number? Do you want to count? How do you want to do it?
Let's do the 8th break.
The 8. Oh, so we're gonna break. Oh, we're getting crazy here. We're gonna break.
Yes.
And then 8. All right.
Yep.
Hold on, I just wanted to mix them a little bit. The 8th break. I feel like we're playing pool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All righty. God, beautiful. We've got autumn again. Who picked autumn? There was actually, this is the third autumn. Patty picked autumn, Melissa picked autumn, and Jess. Patterns, patterns. You cannot forgive in another what you cannot forgive in yourself. Forgiveness does not begin outside yourself. It begins as a journey within, with this beautiful dove. And again, with the autumn falling away, letting things fall away, releasing, right? We want more abundance. We've got to release and make room. And forgiveness always, I can never say it, the hopo, I love you, I forgive you. Like that prayer is very powerful. And it starts with ourselves. We have such high expectations, right? That we don't meet. So the forgiveness starts with yourself, that levity, that beautiful dove in there. It's not about, well, and Jess, you've got lots with some of the people who feel like they let you down, that are you're in other people's care. And that's a hard one. Because it feels like there's a loss of control at times. So, and this is not just for Jess, this is for all of us. When we judge another, we're like, but we know it's right and we know what they're doing is wrong, right? We're hurting ourselves. We truly are. We're dampening the light that Candace in the episode that she's holding over there. And so it doesn't mean don't feel our feelings, but catch them without judgment. Because then we judge the thoughts that we're judging, right? Catch them in awareness and simply just say, oh, I see you. I see you. I forgive you for that. When we want to go to a place, which we automatically do as judgment of ourselves for whatever we're seeing, now we're just cycling. I'm seeing like a cyclone, literally a cyclone. And we don't want to do that. You want to stay outside of that because you got places to go and people to see and things to do and weddings to walk to. So forgive yourself for whatever it is. You'll know. I don't ask what it is. I got my own things to forgive on the inside of me, but start there because you got to keep your vibration at that level.
So can I share 2 validations with you? Because I've got
I would love
tears in my eyes right now.
Oh, I'd love that.
First is I was just having this conversation with my therapist yesterday, because I said to him, I'm frustrated, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that. And he said, no, I don't think you are. And I went, excuse me? Not what I wanted to hear. And he said, I think you're angry and you're not letting yourself feel angry. You're saying I'm frustrated and I'm tired. And I stopped and I thought about it for a minute. And I just went, shut up, Peter. Like, because he hit the nail right on the head. So I let myself feel the anger, and everything. And he just laughed when I said that to him. Let myself feel the anger. But then I thought about my friend Norm that passed a couple of years ago, and so many references in that card and in that message to Norm. First of all, the dove, he always shared with me how whenever he would do his energy healing work, how he just went straight to Jesus and to the Holy Spirit. And he always said he imagined the Holy Spirit as a dove. So it just made me think of him. And he was somebody that shared with me. He said, if you have a hard time forgiving somebody, ask the Holy Spirit to move through you and forgive them through you. And he said, think about what Jesus said, forgive them, they know not what they do. And so I'm sitting here like tears are forming because, you're saying that. And he and I would talk about the Ho'oponopono all the time. And he mentioned
I can never
say
that right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono. I need to put another P in there. Ho'oponopono. Thank you. I can never say that
You're
right.
welcome. Yes, we talked about it all the time, and he mentioned it all the time in his classes. And so it's like, it's just him validating, like, I'm here, I hear you, I'm helping you out. Today was a particularly frustrating day with PT and OT. And I said to him in my mind, I said, I know what you taught me is real. I know it, I feel it, and yet I'm not able to see it manifesting in my own life. What am I missing? And basically, by getting these messages, he's saying, you're not missing anything. Not missing anything. So thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so glad that, and thank you for sharing that back, because that helps me keep clearing and keep connecting and keep trusting, like yours and then Candace's episode. Like these are, it might seem small, but it's like when I'm saying this is crazy, I don't understand, and I want to not say it, it allows me to keep imagining that it makes sense. And that helps me to stay and heighten my connections. But I'm so glad he came through for you, because that's why I asked you to call in your own people, your own peeps, whoever it is that you wanted to come
Yep.
in tonight. So beautiful. Thank you
Yes.
for sharing that
There's
with
one
us.
other. You're welcome. One other little thing I had to share in relation to all this tonight, because I wasn't able to financially sort of pay it forward, but I said I'll find some way to pay forward the energy. And I have a friend who, she's been doing some healing work with me every week for the last year or so. And so I said to her, I would love to do a reading for you, just as a thank you and everything. And we connected yesterday on the phone. And it's been a
Beautiful.
while since I've read for her. And she said, girl, you still got the gift and it's stronger than ever. And just
Beautiful.
I mean, I've known her for about 15 years or so, and just to be able to connect in that way with her and share that with her was really wonderful. So thank you for providing that inspiration and opportunity. And thank you to Ashlyn as well.
You're welcome. See, that's how it works, right? That's how it works. It doesn't have to go to
Absolutely.
the specific spot, right? Someone received your good work. So thank you. Candace, did you have your hand up again?
I did. It's like I'm in class.
I know. I was like, I think I'm calling on Candace. I like
Yeah,
this class better than
we're
my
just
in class.
all in our sharing. So I had my actual, like I had my therapy appointment today, and I was unloading like all of the things of just the utter chaos that just seems to be a daily thing here, with me trying to like parent each of my kids based on their current needs and all of the things, and then the smudge and the decapitation of his tail and all this stuff.
Yeah, you
And
had lots going on.
oh my God, like enough already. So I was telling her, I had my coaching today, the LLCA coaching, we did boundaries. And as I went through this exploration, there seemed to be a common denominator of where I wasn't like holding my boundaries. And it was like really reflective in that it completely aligns with what you're talking about today, in a sense of like filling up our cup and self-love and doing for ourselves. Because a theme throughout the entire thing that I journaled was like, oh, well, I'm not doing this because like, oh, I want to make sure that like I'm connecting with Brock this way, and oh, Xander's highly sensitive, so I want to make sure I'm doing. So like at the end of the day, I'm so
Depleted.
yeah. And then sometimes it's like I'm so depleted in the morning because I feel like my mind's still going at night of like thinking about how I could have done things better and how I feel like maybe I failed in a certain way. And so thinking of all of those things. And so she said, my therapy's like, this is a third week in a row that there's this pattern here where, you're given to your husband, you're given to all your kids, you're given to your business, you're given to this, you're given. She's like, when are you making time for yourself? And I'm like, oh, well, I like doing this and I like doing this. She's like, but still, like the outcome, like serving others, like, what are you really doing for you? And I really sat there for like a long moment, because the things that I thought I was doing for me, while yes, but it's really also, like serving others. And so it was a really, really big eye opener in that sometimes like even the things that bring us joy, that are hobbies of ours, things that we love to do, like it may not be like filling our cup. And so it was like a huge
100%.
aha. So for you to be like all these cards about
It
self-love.
was all the way. Yeah, the whole thing. It was woven through all of us. I mean, from the very first message that I was like, really, there's not another message? I'm like, oh, because I said and that was it, that we opened up to that playing and the self-love, and then that we don't set it. And it's true, because it's a fine line. We want to be of service and we love being of service, all of us. I know that there's not one of us on this call that does not feel good serving. You're welcome, Rebecca. Serving others. but it cannot be the only way. We have to be one of the people that we serve. We have to. Because it's like I'm seeing when Candace was talking, I don't know why, like all these little teacups, like little, like the mini ones, like when you go to a Chinese restaurant and like filling them all up, and then you get everyone's got one, right? And then you're like, wait, the pot's empty. Like you don't even have a cup. Like I'm seeing them all lined up, like the boys, your husband, your daughter, like everybody, and you don't even have a cup. So it's not even like you're not filling your cup, you don't even have a cup. Like, so what I was seeing was she needs to even get a cup. Truth, honestly. And it could be anything, but it could be taking a drive by yourself. Like it, whatever it is, it's not necessarily a salt bath of this, but it has to be, I am doing this only for me. Because doing it only for you is going to do it for everybody else.
Well, and that's what it was. It was about the intentional like piece behind it. It's like, oh yes, I love doing all these things, but it's like, ooh, who does this ultimately end up serving? And while it fills
Yeah.
some of my cup, but yeah. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to share that because it was just like at 2:00 this afternoon, my time. And here 3 hours later, I get on this call and it's
You're
that
like,
line too, the happiness and joy and just like somebody's sending me some messages tonight.
but it's a good message. It's a good one. Like every single one of us, as we get off tonight, I would suggest a little follow-up work. Let's not call it homework, is to choose, and not in a light way, but choose a way to love yourself, like with intention. I like that word, the Candace, that you just used. It's not just doing it, but it's with intention. But I'm looking for Heather. Grayson's going to my sister's. I'm going to read it. My sister's for the weekend so I can have some me time. Yeah. It's what I don't was going to say her name, but it doesn't matter. I don't want to say her name, but it doesn't matter. You don't know her. But when she asked me about what to do, and I said, take care of you. I think back, and I had some really rough postpartum depression with my first. And there are certain things I still am forgiving myself about. It brought me to tears when we were talking. So Jess, I'll be using your card too, all of your cards. I feel like they were for me, but I look back and I would have done it differently. I would have raised my neurodivergent child differently now as me, and that causes me pain because I see how it could have been done differently, and it could have been so much more peaceful in so many ways, and I beat myself up about that. So I have to not flog. And so I'm right there with everyone here because I know he would not be who he is now. It all had to happen how it had to happen, including for me to know differently now. You don't know, as Rebecca, you don't know what you don't know until you know more. All of it, all of your cards are like speaking to my soul, every single one of them. And the forgiveness is huge because if we don't, and I know this for sure, nothing good will come from what we need. I picked a card for myself. It was the one from my second deck, and it was the one, if you have it, she's cloaked and there's a wolf, and it says, if you do not forgive yourself, you will not create another blessed thing or something of that sort. And I was like, I know it, but I need to hear it because nothing blessed will come. Nothing bright and light and high vibrancy and high frequency will come when I lament over what I didn't do or I did differently, or I yelled too much, a lot. I look like a crazy person sometimes. I was like when you yell and your throat hurts. That's how it was. He was not an easy. He was part of my journey, and now I feel like when I think about it, it brings up shame, honestly. But I could not do anything different because I didn't have the skills. I didn't have the tools. And that's where the forgiveness has to come in. And we are exactly where we need to be. He called me in. I called him in. You called in whoever you are, your families, right? We cannot do it any differently. And that's what we leave with tonight. That's what our angels are leaving with us tonight. Forgiveness. We cannot be anywhere else that we're not meant to be. We had to do that to get here, to get to the next. There's no accidents. And I picked one card for us to go. From The World Needs Me. I couldn't find my cards. I'm like, where's my World Needs Me? I got to order new cards. The world needs my direction. Well, my green screen is making it a mess. It disappears. You're like, Archangel Michael, there's a mess because it's so green. There we go. The world needs my direction. Holy, 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 holy. Yes, it does. All of us have a different path. We're traveling together, but we're on different strands and it needs our direction. When you find yourself going, yeah, but I don't know, nobody's doing that. We're not doing it for a reason, because we're meant to. Or everyone's doing that. I should do something different. Are you called to do that? Then do that. Because nobody does it the way you do it. It doesn't matter how many hundreds of coaches, people, mothers, friends are saying, doing, whatever. My son said something to us. I gave him advice. My husband and I recently, I won't say the story because it's not my story to tell. We have said the same thing to him his entire life. His boss, who's a relationship coach, said something to him and he came home. He's like, "Hi, Mom, I got the best advice. This has changed everything." I'm like, "What?" And he told me and I went, "What?" Like, the same thing for 23 blessed years. My husband was laughing about it too. But you know what I mean? Sometimes someone will tell you something and you needed to hear it from that particular person. That particular person, doesn't matter how many times your husband, your friend, your wife, your whatever said it to you. Yeah. And then you hear it from the one person for whatever reason and it just resonates and you're like, right? That's what the moment was. I'm like, really? How many times have I said this? So on the reverse side, don't question. It doesn't matter how many people are doing what you're thinking of doing. They're not doing it from the inside of you. The world needs your direction. And forgiveness and trust and love. And you need your love. Well, thank you, my friends. Thank you for spending an evening with me. There you are. I'm like, oh, I didn't know who left. Did anybody else have anything you wanted to say or share or before we go?
I was going to also, I had a similar thing to Candace where, I do the bowls every week, right? And so it'll be 3 years I've been doing this. And I'm always like, oh, that's what I do for myself. I have that every week and da, da, da. And last Tuesday I was like, is somebody else coming to play? Is somebody else's turn yet?
Yeah.
And then last Thursday, I went to Michelle's for her meditation night, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I needed this so badly," and felt so much better. And so right before that, I had seen this and signed up for it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I signed up for it! I had time to take Jen's class next week. This is so wonderful." But it was, you think that you're doing things that fill your cup because of the work that you do, and you're lying to yourself.
Oh, that's the best way to put it. Yeah, because it's the truth. And it doesn't mean it doesn't fill our cup, but it doesn't fill our particular soul. Like, it makes us feel good. We know we're of service. We love doing it, but it's not filling our cup. There's a difference. Like, it's serving our soul, but it's not filling our cup. And yeah, that it's about choosing something that's just for you.
And I'll tell you
love that.
one thing that happened at Michelle's, her meditation that she did, she said in there, lead as you would follow. And how many times have I heard this? I've heard it since the beginning. It hit me like it was a punch in the gut when I heard it last week. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I really get it.
Don't you love when it's there? Yeah.
And I saw it there too. Like, it was just a whole crate. I was like, wow.
I can't tell you that message came to me driving my car about 7 years ago. I didn't understand it. I've said it so many times to people that I coach and I never understood it, but I just kept saying, and I knew it was powerful. And it took meeting new people, doing new experiences for it to finally come through me and embody, and I understood it. And then then I put it on the card and then she put it in her book, and I couldn't be more. I'm like, because I knew how important it was. Like, it was not me. It's not like, oh, I said this. Jen said this. Did I channel it? Yeah. But did I create it? No. It took me like 6 years to figure out what it meant. It just kept saying it. So you saying like, oh my God, it hit me. I just kept saying, I'm like, I don't know what this means. Like, I don't know, but I know it's important. Like, I could feel the depth of it, but I had no idea what it meant. And so now it's just so exciting to see other people. Like, you've helped me everyone who says it, uses it every single time. It's more and more and more. So it didn't even matter that, because it didn't originate from me either. I mean, it originated from the collective, right? To make sense. Ashlyn said it the other day. She asked me to help her write. She ran for something on, they called e-board in the sorority. And she's like, can you help me word? I know what I want to say, but can you listen? And I'm like, sure. So last Friday night, I'm like, what am I doing this last Friday night for 2 hours? I'm like, are we done yet? I'm like tired. Like I'm on the phone with her and she's typing computer. Anyway, they asked her leadership style. And she said, all right, my leadership style. I lead as I would follow. I'm like, you did not say that. She's like, well, what exactly does that mean? So we had this great conversation and she ended up figuring out what it meant for her. I'm like, well, what does that look like for you? What will that look like? And she's 20. She's 20, right? You guys they're the next generation. It's not because it's just her. All of our kiddos and grandchildren and nieces and nephews and just the people that we deal with, they're the next. We get like, oh my God, what's happening? But you could also say, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah.
Right? You can look at it both ways. And it is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't feel
It
like
was
doing it
just-
for 2 hours, but I can't even pretend. I'm like, I was not filling my cup. I was not filling my cup at all. I'm like, I'm sitting there at one point, I'm like this. I'm like, she's like, you don't look very happy. I'm like, oh,
I'm
You-
bored.
yeah. But she got the position, which means she's creating retreats and mental health for the girls. So PS, it worked. Yeah. All her friends were like telling each other what they should go for. They're like, oh, you should go for this, which all they were doing, I'll just close this. This has nothing to do with anything, but it talks about reading people, right? Oh, you should go for such and such. Oh, that's better for you. And Ashlyn's listening to them. She's like, they're all saying that because they didn't want the person to go for what they wanted to go for. So they're talking them into like, that would be best for you. So they're like, what are you going for? She goes, I'm not telling you. They're like, why? She goes, why? You just talked each other out of what they really wanted to go for because you wanted it yourself. So you think I'm going to tell you? They're like, oh, like, yeah, she's like, no. Yeah, so be careful, discern who you share with. But thank you. Candace is like, yeah. Thank you. Like, thank you for all of your messages. I'm going to take them all with me. And then any of you who end up coming in later, because I know there's quite a few people. I think there was maybe 20 people all together. So this will be going out to people. I'll download it tomorrow and then send it off to you. But thank you for your messages. Thank you for the practice, for the episode, for the things that didn't make sense, really. And that for the message this morning, Kim, about the rapids and then the no water. That was so weird and cool, but I knew where to share it. So thank you. Go take care of yourself. I will take care of myself. For real. Fill your cup for you with intention. Love you.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Bye.
you.
Love you.
Go drink water. Go drink water.